Hello everyone and welcome to another Finale tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at how to use Metatools. Now, what are Metatools? Metatools are basically really simplified macros, to put it in layman's terms. They are keys that you can assign on your keyboard for a particular character, articulation, or something basically. And the idea is that you press and hold it, whatever key it is that you programmed down, and then you click or double click a certain region and something would happen. To put it more simply, you've probably used these before and you probably just don't know it. Probably one that we've all discovered. If we go into the articulation tool and we press and hold S and we click on note, we get staccatos. We can also press and hold and then drag over a region to get a bunch of staccatos as well. So, but if we also open up the articulation menu, we see that S is assigned by default to a staccato. We also see that the letter X is assigned to a staccatissimo, and E for tenuto, etc. So all these are predefined. And this is good. This is good. Finale, make music rather. They already pretty much have these in by default. So this is saving us a lot of room already. So this is very nice of them to do that. However, you can do this on pretty much all the main tools in the main tool palette, not just the articulations. And that's what we're going to be going over today. In case you're wondering, we are in the latest version of Finale, which is Finale version 26 at the time of this video. So if you want, you can go ahead and open up your version of Finale. It should work regardless of what version. I don't remember when Metatools was entered, but if you're on something within the last 5 or 6 years, we should be okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with articulations. So we're going to go ahead and create an articulation meta tool. And so let's say, we're going to actually go ahead and change one. So let's go ahead and once we're in the articulation tool, hold Shift and letter S. And Finale is going to say, hey, this shortcut already has been assigned to a staccato. We're going to pretend that we don't know that. We're going to go ahead and assign it to, let's assign it to something that doesn't have one. Let's say, are these Bartok pits? I'm not quite sure. Let's assign it to this thing. Actually, there's a Bartok pits. Assign it to a Bartok pits right here. So because I did Shift and S, we now have, whenever I push down S, we get the Bartok pits right up here. And you can do this for, obviously do all that too. But you can do this with everything. So I'm just going to assign it back. There we go. Now our staccatos are back. And the reason you do that is just with Shift and S. You can also do numbers as well, but the numbers are already assigned as well, as you saw. So that's how you assign articulations, and you can customize them. It's that easy, just Shift and then pick a letter, pick a number, doesn't matter. I don't know, G, and then just choose what you want G to be assigned to. Let's say a trill, and then you just press select, and then there you go. G is assigned to a trill, and then you can just use it like any other meta tool. Pretty simple so far. Let's go ahead and move on to the expression tool, and it's going to be pretty much the same story. Let's do Shift and I. And since we are in version 26, this menu is going to be a lot bigger. They really expanded on this, by the way. And so you can assign it to pretty much anything in here, or you could even create your own and assign it to that. So let's actually go crazy. Let's just say, let's assign it to this, okay? And even a custom. play really loud and say, okay, so I is, whenever I press I, it's gonna give me this. So here we go, I, there we go. And I mean, this is just an example, a really just quick example off the top of my head. You can, of course, Shift I, we can change this to something more sensible, like maybe like a, let's do show all. Let's do something sensible, like, let's do a subito piano. Subito piano might be more used. So now I is going to become a subito piano. There you go. With me so far? So pretty simple way to assign Metatools. And it's going to be pretty the same procedure. You click in the tool, you press Shift, and then you choose a number or a letter, it doesn't matter. And then you pretty much select what you want. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now, Smart Shape is going to be a little bit different. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to click on Smart Shape tool. And you'll need to select one of these that you want to assign. Let's do the Ottava. Let's do the Ottava. And it tells you, it's just really nice, the Metatool 8 is is already assigned to that, which is actually pretty nice. So if we do, for example, hold down the number 8 and then double click, we see an Ottava, even though I'm already in the slur tool. But if I'm not, I'm just in slur tool. If I hold down 8, then there you go. You have an Ottava right there. So slur tool, I'm sure most of us are going to use the slur quite often. Let's assign something there. So what you'll need to do is have slur selected and then do Shift, and then I'm going to choose the letter S. You can choose whatever letter or number you want. And you'll get this saying, hey, you just programmed a Metatool. Are you sure you want to do this? And you're going to say yes, or you can also check this box that says shut up and leave me alone. And that's pretty much it. There's no menu that comes up. It's just Shift and the letter S, and then if I press S, press and hold S, and I click and drag, there you go. To show you that I'm not bullshitting you, here we go. I'm going to select the dashed bracket tool, press S, and I still get a slur. Pretty cool, huh? So, and this comes really useful. Here's an 8, like if you're doing 8, S, so, etc. Let's do one more just for completeness. Let's do a crescendo. Let's assign one to a crescendo. Let's do Shift C, and looks like yes, and there you go. C, there we go. And it works backwards as well. You have to be pressing and holding C. Here's a slur. Here's an Ottava. So, I mean, you can just go absolutely crazy. It's going to be super efficient instead of just having to find that tool up here and click it. And yeah, so you get the idea. Okay. One area that might be really nice is also the staff tool. Now, the staff tool, if I click the staff tool and I click a measure, right click, you'll see like all these options right here. You know, very useful, nice little options. But watch what happens when I am in the staff tool and I do Shift, pick a letter. Let's do J. Why not? J hasn't been assigned, but you see all the rest of them have been assigned to letters. All these have been assigned. Now, why these don't show up in the staff drop-down menu, I have no idea. I wish they'd do that. I think that'd be a really simple thing to do, to add. But let's say, I don't know what letter I just chose, J. J, let's make that stemless notes. Or actually apply alpha note names because it hasn't even, you see there's nothing assigned to it. Apply finale alpha note names, and you'll get to see what that does. So J is now assigned to alpha note names. So if I highlight a measure, press J, you'll see that you have this nice little feature, this alpha note names applied. You can, there. Can you apply like just a note too? So there's that. You can even do it on things as bizarre as key signatures. So if you want, for example, this whole region to be in F major, for example, oh, God forbid you having to go up here, right click and choose the key you want, or even going to other and going in and finding, F major, and then choosing OK, because, and not like people change keys all that often, but if you want to, there is a Metatool that you can do. Shift F, let's do F for F major. Oops. F major. Then click OK. And then what you'll need to do, press and hold F, and then double click on the measure. You'll need to, by the way, also be in the key signature tool to be doing this. If you want a whole region to be in, let's say you want all this to be in F major, you'll first, let's see if I get this right. You'll need to, hold on, F, nope, hold on, F, Control, highlight the region, F, double click. Yes, that's it. Let me try that one more time. Highlight the region you want to be in F major, press and hold F, double click. Let's do that one more time just to drill it home. Highlight the region, press and hold F, or whatever key you assigned to be an F major, double click. Hope that makes sense. You can also do the same for a time signature as well. Let's say you want, let's make it make sense, Shift 3 to be in 3/4, and how convenient enough for it to read our mind and know that we want to be in 3/4. So we have to be in the time signature tool, and if we hold 3, the number 3, oops, hold the number 3 and double click. There it goes. It goes into 3/4. And again, highlight the region, press and hold 3, double click, and you got that whole section in 3/4. Okay. Clef, same thing. Well, actually, clef is all the clefs, all the regular clefs. I'm just going to go ahead and open it up. You see, they're all pretty much assigned, so there's no need, I don't think, unless you're using some really obscure clef, in which case it's going to be the same thing, same procedure. You just go ahead and shift, pick something, and then you can probably create your own. I'm not going to go into that, but all of them have already been pre-assigned. So like, 4, press and hold 4, click, there's a bass clef. 3, there is a tenor clef. 2, here's an alto clef, and then 1 is obviously treble clef. So that's pretty the long and short of it. You can also do it for chord symbols, just to be thorough. Let's do just R, I don't know, and then you can fill in a chord symbol and then just assign R to whatever chord symbol, even fretboard, so you can go into all this stuff. If you're into that, go for it. I'm not going to go in depth into that. You can even do it on the repeat tool. You can. Again, not going to go into that either. I want to mention, though, another feature that is universal for all of these is what Finale calls the Add Again meta tool. Now, that's pretty wild. I don't know what's happening over here. I don't know what's going on over there. Let's say, for example, you're in an articulation tool, or actually even better yet, you're in an expression tool. You'll notice a lot of these don't have predetermined meta tool numbers or letters assigned to them. You only see like a handful of them. Let's say you need a bunch of these rinforzandos in a row. So what you're going to do is do R, do your normal, apply. And let's say you need them in like a bunch of them. So instead of doing this monotonous thing, double click the note, find, Finale has a nice useful feature. It'll remember what you inputted last. If you press and hold the hyphen tool, it'll just add the last expression that you just entered. So I'm just holding the, you can see I'm just holding the hyphen, and I'm just clicking. This is great. This is a huge time saver. You can also do it for the expressions, for articulations, for slurs, for pretty much everything. Pretty much everything that I just showed you. The hyphen tool will pretty much just remember anything you just put in. Like even a clef. Let's say you had a, I don't know, bass clef. You'll remember that too. So I hope that makes sense. And trying to make sure I'm covering everything that I can. Okay, two other things I'd like to get to that I think are extremely important. So you can change the meta tool if you're in the selection tool. If you're in the selection tool, two really useful things you should know is the numbers 6 through 9 are the transposition keys. If I press 7, it raises the selected region of notes up by a second, diatonic second. And if you press 6, it lowers it by a second. I actually kind of like these. These are, I wouldn't mess around with them. But in case you do want to mess around with them, by the way, 8 is an octave down, 9 is an octave up. 9 octave up, 8 an octave down. So it's a really fast way of transposing instead of highlighting, transpose, So if you really want to assign something different, you can only use this feature through the numbers 6 through 9, the meta tool. So here, I'll show you real quick. So if you do Control Shift, and let's change the number 6, which it tells us its current use right now, which is to transpose down a second. Let's say we want to transpose down a fifth. Simple enough. So let's go ahead and select and press 6. And you see it went down a sixth. 7 still works as programmed. So, and then if you screw up, and you can just change back, Control 6, a second. And it'll work just fine. Okay, last feature of Metatools Training 101 is the Tuplet tool. This one might be really useful. Let's say there's a couple ways you can enter in tuplets and whatnot. The most common, and probably the one that most of us use, let's go ahead and throw down a note, is probably, is it Control 9? Is it Control 9? Is it Alt 9? Okay, it's Alt 9. I always forget. Is pull up the simple entry tuplet definition, and this is fine to use this, how many notes you want in the space of whatever. There's another option though. You can assign a meta tool to a tuplet, and this is kind of cool. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to be in the Tuplet tool. The first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to define the tuplet, and you'll do this by pressing Shift. And let's say we want to make it a quintuplet, so let's do 5. Make it a 5 for simplicity, so we can remember. 5 eighth notes, 5 quintuplets in the space of 1 quarter note. And we're going to click OK. Now check this out. Watch what happens when I press and hold 5 and then click on the first note of the first measure right here. Immediately it gathers those notes and makes it a tuplet. And it's going to obviously affect the measure somewhat, quite a lot. I'm not quite sure if that's quantized right, but you get the idea. I wonder what it sounds like. All right, I guess that works. But you get the idea. So, and yeah, pretty much if you have the Tuplet tool, you have to be in the Tuplet tool for this feature. Press 5. There's quintuplet. Here's another quintuplet. I'm sure that's going to get screwed up. Oh, maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or how many beats that leaves behind? Oh, in the space of, okay. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Cool. So you get the idea. You can also make these SEP templates. You can make it whatever you want, essentially. So that's going to pretty much do it for me for today. I hope this was useful. I hope you found this useful. And go ahead and leave a like down below if you actually did find this useful. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to subscribe. Keep up to date with what I'm doing. And I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for watching.